For those who grew up poor, what did you consider a luxury? Going out to eat at a restaurant. I don't know if anyone can relate, but in about 3rd maybe 4th grade, me and my twin brother had a music class where we were both required to buy a recorder. Like a plastic flute thing. Well, my mom said we didn't have the money, so my twin brother and I tore the whole house up in search of $6 for 2 recorders. We brought a Ziploc bag full of change, pennies, nickels, dimes, etc. I think the teacher felt sorry for us, 'cause she paid for our recorders when the rest of the students left the room. Gave us the Ziploc bag back. Thank you, Mrs. Albrecht. Until the age of 12, I thought that you weren't allowed to buy things that weren't on sale. My mom only bought things when they were on sale and/or she had a coupon, so I thought that the non-sale items weren't being sold. In middle school I was on reduced school meals, so it would be .40 for lunch. So my parents would always give me 2 quarters every morning for lunch. Now the cafeteria would also sell cookies, which wasn't part of the lunch set, for .50 each. So saving .10 each day, I could afford 1 cookie by Friday's lunch. Good times. Grew up pretty poor in Arkansas in a trailer. I literally got a door to my bedroom for Christmas one year. It probably still was the best gift I ever received. I got pretty excited to be given my own bed. School parties where everyone brought something to share for lunch. If you don't bring something, you don't get to participate. I brought 2 carrots after not being able to afford school lunch for 2 years. Even the teacher laughed at me. My young self just decided that day that some people don't deserve lunch. For my school spirit week, they had a thrift shop day, where most everyone dressed in old ratty clothes, or the weirdest stuff they could find in a thrift shop. Needless to say, as someone whose clothes were 80% second-hand, it was an eye-opener. New shoes. We're ordering pizza for dinner. Being able to get candy at a store. New school supplies. Brand name food. New clothes. I grew up pretty poor, no TV, no toys, but had a Sears catalog. My dad got in a serious accident when I was in 4th grade and almost lost his life. He won a small settlement from the community college he was working at, and I was able to buy new clothes for the first time in my life. Before this, all I ever had were hand-me-downs from my cousin and donation clothes from the church. Most were worn to the point of having patches on the knees. The worst part about getting new clothes for the first time is I felt terrible the whole time picking out new clothes because I always felt like a financial burden to my parents. I remember going to Miller's Outpost and picking out typical 80s clothes, OP, TNC, etc. It's funny how growing up poor affects my everyday choices, for better or worse. I'll never outgrow some of the feelings I had as a poor kid, and I feel for any kid who has to endure a childhood of poverty. It will affect them and their choices for the rest of their life. My mom had 7 children in 10 years, 1950 to 1960. I remember having a whole bottle, those smallish glass ones that came out of the machine for 10 cents, of soft drink to myself instead of sharing one bottle between all 7 of us. I was perhaps 5 years old. I still remember this as the best thing ever. Staying at someone's house who wasn't poor, like a relative or friend. Their house was also so clean, beautiful, pictures on the wall, knick-knacks on the counter, and carpet you could play on because it was clean. I spent my entire teenage years hiding where I lived. Pancakes. But now as an adult and knowing how cheap pancakes really are, I think my mom just didn't want to make them. My mother used to consider any kind of cereal a luxury, they only had 1 box a month. Brand name cereal was for the upper class, man. Honestly didn't know that pasta-roni was $1 until I was a grown-ass man. I thought that was some gourmet shit. Parents staying home. I was always alone. Electricity lol. Thanks for paying the bill this month, Mom.